something most self-employed consultants never talk about. When you go out on your own, you become invisible, not to the world, but to the people around you who could help. Your family assumes you've got it handled. Your friends think you're too busy and you've got it all together. And you don't ask because asking feels like admitting you don't know what you're doing. And so you stay on the island, alone, trying to figure it out alone. My name is AJ Riedel. This is Thriving Through, the podcast where each week I have real conversations with self employed consultants about what it really takes to build a profitable, sustainable, successful consulting practice. Today's guest is Hemalatha Chandrasekaran. Shakaran. I butchered that, but it's Chandrasekaran. She goes by Hema, and she is the founder of Upacharah, a consulting practice that helps micro and small businesses step into the digital world. Hema's path into consulting was accidental. A hiring freeze at her former employer closed the door back to corporate life, and she stepped into the only other door available, her own business. What she built reflects something deeper than a service offering. That her company name comes from a Sanskrit tradition of offering courteous, mindful, step by step service, as if the person you're serving is a deity in your home. That's how Hema treats every client. And as you'll hear, that philosophy is what makes her unforgettable in a market full of consultants doing very similar work. In this conversation, Hema gets honest about what self-employed isolation actually cost you, what inconsistent lead generation does to your income, and how she landed her next big opportunity, not by chasing it, but by giving her best work with zero expectation of return. If you're struggling to stand out, build a consistent pipeline, or find a way to run your practice that actually feels like you, this episode's worth your full attention. Welcome to the Thriving Through podcast. Today, my guest is Hema. Hema, I'm so delighted to have you on the show.
Thank
Welcome.
you so much, Riedel. It means a lot to me, and thank you for inviting to the show.
Well, glad to have you here. I've got a bunch of good questions for you. First question, what was your path to becoming a self-employed consultant?
Okay, so I think it was an accident, to be very frank with you, because I didn't choose it, consciously, but I didn't have any other option. So I'll put it that way. So to explain, I have to take you through my professional journey. Okay,
Mhm.
so I started my career somewhere in like 2008, and I have worked for companies like TCS and Zoho. And I spent almost a decade working in Zoho. That was the major chunk of experience I got from Zoho. And I have worked in multiple areas like development and customer support, raising the team from the ground. And then I was moved to product management and everything in between, like so I just participate in every activity. So it's not like I restrict myself in any particular domain. And around that time, so my husband had to relocate to the US. So we all joined as a family. And I chose to be on break just to take care of my young family. I thought that let me just take some time here and
Mhm.
then see how things are to learn about the culture and everything. So I chose it, it was my choice. And then we planned for the second, and then it became a very long break indeed. So, and I approached my previous employer to rejoin the workforce. Um,
Mhm.
but there was a hiring freeze in the location where we live.
Oh,
So
dang it.
I was
Yeah.
left with a couple of options to do some certifications or to just start something on my own. Okay, so At the same time, I got some chance to collaborate or to speak with small business owners like AC technicians and window blind installers and pest control owners. So they were small business owners. They were so busy, okay, and I was just curious enough to understand how they are managing their process because I could see that mostly they had manual processes. So I was just asking them, like, how was your day like? And do you have any tools? So most had their business cards, and couple of them had their websites. Okay, but majorly they didn't have a lot of digital tools like CRM, which could benefit a lot. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. So something spark in my mind that I have to step in here. I have to just work with them. So that's how I started the consulting as an implementation specialist to work with a micro to small business to move them from manual process to the digital world. Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay. And that, what, tell us a story or two about the biggest challenges you faced in building your consulting practice and how you've overcome them.
Okay. Yeah, there are surely a couple of challenges, but the moment we are traveling along with the challenge, it's more interesting than we actually think. Okay, so the first one I would say is the visibility. Okay, so we know like every work, it could be like you are working for someone or it could be like your own business. Everything takes good amount of time, to see the visible results. But our curious brain is always like, when am I going to see the result? Like, am I productive enough? Like, am I validated at the outer environment? So all those things. So that validation takes some time, right? You have to give your like good amount of time to settle in and then just do the work, do the best work.
Hmm.
So that validation. And I felt being in the consultation journey is like you have started something on your own. So it will flag to others like you are in an island. Okay, just imagine that we are in an island. Okay, no one is going to disturb you because they think that okay, she has started something on her own. So unless we flag for help, so you can't be very open enough to ask for help because you hesitate being in that mindset. So you think that if I ask for help, become small. I'll be small. So you won't ask for help just like that. Okay. So, and even your friends and other group of, like, let's say your family, they are ready to help, but you have to flag that for help. So I
Right.
felt, yeah, unless you call for help, you don't get one because they think that you can manage or you are kind of busy. So I have gone
Yes.
through that. Yeah.
Okay. Give me an example of a time when you were building your practice when you needed help and you reached out and who you reached out to, what kind of help did you need?
Okay. So in terms of okay, I'll say there was a project where it was kind of out of my domain. Okay. But I can learn that and do. So I have done that to my best ability. And after a while, I checked with my cousin. Okay. So he said that if I was you, I wouldn't have taken this project.
Oh,
So I felt, so that was my first project, by the way. So, but again, I'm telling you, like, people will not share the feedback or criticism immediately because they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to put you down or just, I mean, make you afraid of anything, right? So they will
hmm.
give you a time. So it's a learning. So we have to stick around with it. And that's when I understood that each and everything you will have to own with full responsibility. And that was a situation when I needed help to validate the ideas. Yeah.
So when your cousin said if he were you, he wouldn't have taken that project, and that was your very first consulting project.
Yes.
In hindsight, looking back, do you feel like that is a project that, knowing what you know now, you wouldn't have taken?
No, I would say I don't regret for that because I feel like today, like Hema is the product of the choices that I took in the past,
Hmm.
right? like it was meant to be in my path. This is how it was meant to be, to learn the art of doing the project which was not my domain, right? So I don't regret, but maybe like it's a dual mind, right? Like you wanted to listen to the feedback, but again you take your own decision. So it's kind of that. So I don't regret, Riedel. Like I'm happy, like whatever I am today.
Okay. What is a lesson you learned from that project?
Uh, okay, it was my first project, and then even the payments and everything I just set aside. Like I wanted to prove my ability to complete that piece of work. So it was almost like it ran to like 5 or 6 months, because the customer is also very new to the digital world, as I told you. Like we just spoke as a friend. Like every day we used to have some email conversations and phone calls. So I think everything was good, right? Like I learned to do a piece of work that was not my domain at all. But I would say like sticking around with the timeline, enjoying each and every phase of the customer's requirement. So all those things gave me a lot of learning.
Okay. Your business name, you have an interesting business name, Upacharah. Did I say it right?
Yes, you're right.
Most of the people listening to this podcast have never heard that word. I hadn't heard that word. Tell me what it means and why you named your business that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for asking this, because I love my business name. Okay, so the word Upachara is a Sanskrit word. Okay, so it is part of the Hindu tradition where we just offer courteous services to the god, like during the prayer time. Okay, so there are different types of upachara actually. Like we have panchopachara, which is like 5 step process, and we have dashopachara, which is 10 step, and 16 step process, which is shodashopachara. I mean, the name will be kind of tricky for you guys, but uh, and there is also like 64 step process. Okay, so all these things, it just denotes only one thing. Okay, so we offer the services to god, like as if you invite the god as a guest to your house, and then you offer some water to drink, some sandal paste for dressing up, some flowers to adorn, some fragrance here and there. So it's like how you take care of the god. These are the best steps, so it gives you the mindfulness. The reason why I chose this is like we have heard all the way, like, customer is king, right? Like I want to place my customer in a more higher level. You can call that as deity or superpower, whatever. So only the best things comes in front of you. Like you will do only the best things when they are in front of you. Like that is my whole concept. Like I have to treat my customer with a lot of steps, and each step should be very mindful, very courteous, and all those should be uh, respectful offerings to them. So yeah, that's how the business name got. Yeah, I just took it from the Sanskrit word.
I love that. And I love the mindset behind it, which is really treating your clients in a really respectful, kind, kind of logical way.
Of course, yeah.
So
Thank you
you're
for that.
so you're literally treating every customer the way you treat God,
Of
right?
course, yes.
What does that actually look like in your business day to day? Give me a specific example.
Okay. So, in a very plain business language, it is just putting yourself in their place. Okay. So, we don't rush. Okay. Because what you see in front of you is literally the higher power who's giving you business, right? Who's giving you the money that you get your food, everything. So each and everything should be very courteous, and we should not just take it very in a very lighter way that I will do it tomorrow. If something needed immediate attention, so you'll have to do it. So it's an art, like where you place yourself in their place, and what if you are stuck at that point? Whether you would expect some help immediately, So all those things, you will do like a pretend play, like a dual acting, right? So that's a whole concept of the upachara that is even practiced in Hindu tradition or in any religion, right? You treat the other person as the soul. So you don't want to give any pain to the other soul. Like you have to be with them. So it's a like soul level connection. So just that in the Hindu, I mean, in the philosophy that I told you, it's like a higher soul, and then you have descended down. So it's just that, but you can just place it anywhere. It could be to your own kid, could be to your teacher. Like that respectful trait is a great thing, actually.
How do you handle conflict when with this philosophy? There are times when there are misunderstandings with the client, or there's some conflict between maybe the direction they thought you were going for them and the way you thought you were going. So, misunderstandings. How do you handle those?
With transparency. So I feel, see, we cannot be the, we cannot provide the best possible result every time, right? What I
Mhm.
mean is we'll be getting there. But at times, let's say the product that you use has some bugs. So it's out of control. But instead of just giving up, so just hear their feelings, like, just understand their emotions and feelings. Like, I do understand this is so frustrating at this point, but I will be with you. I will travel with you. You don't need to worry. I will do everything for you. That explanation, that transparency is what every customer requires. They don't want a perfect solution. They don't want a bug-free product. We cannot guarantee that
Right?
because it's a human creation. Like, so you know that what is expected out of any product or service, but what do they really want is being with them in their journey. uh, let's say they escalate, the moment that you get back to them is key, right? Like you cannot take your own time. And how precise is your explanation to those questions? So all those things matter. So I feel like just be with them. Just think that your own buddy or peer group. So how you will educate or mentor them, just the same way.
Okay. So we talked about a couple challenges that you faced in the early years. What's the biggest challenge you're wrestling with in your consulting practice right now?
Okay, this is a difficult question, but yes, I think generating leads. So I feel like it is not continuous because of the segment that I took, like micro to small. So it requires some time for them to validate all those things, like maybe the budget, their readiness to move to a digital environment, everything. So it takes some time. So I think lead generation is what, like maybe I require help even now.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how do you find your leads currently?
So some of them come through references, some through some business meetings, like local business meetings where I get along with a lot of businesses
Mhm.
who I mean, we just meet together to understand like what each business do. So through that, yeah. So I
Okay.
haven't invested in the Google AdWords right now, but it's just like I'm taking all these paths right now.
So referrals and networking
Yeah,
are your primary. Okay.
right.
Which those are great lead gen tools. They are passive in that you don't have any control over when somebody gives you a referral. And the networking, you may be at an event where somebody really needs your help, or you may go to 5 events in a row where you don't meet anybody who is a prospective client. So you don't have a lot of control over that. Do you find that usually what I hear from and a lot of consultants use networking and referrals. Those are their primary channels. Do you find that your income is inconsistent because you're not getting leads on a regular basis? I mean, in an ideal world, we say we need 15 leads a month and we get 15 leads a month. But with referrals and networking, you can't predict that you're going to get 15 leads. So what is the impact of that inconsistent lead generation? What impact does that have on your revenue?
Of course. So since we don't have active leads every now and then, So the revenue will not be like, in the higher end of the spectrum. So that is known to me. Like, as I told you like earlier, like I just see this as a process, right? Like I just know that it's a step by step. We'll get there. Maybe after a couple of months or weeks, like I'll be hiring a team, for me to handle all these things. But again, you need the bandwidth, you need the financial support, so everything. But I know this, like this is going to be a very slow step process unless you're very vigorous in investing in all those, maybe in a team, or let's say you want to do the Google marketing, so you need the budget. So I'm just taking it very slowly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Slow organic growth.
of course. Yeah, you're right.
You believe in a philosophy called karma yoga.
Yes, I do.
And now I've heard and do yoga, and I do yoga nidra. I haven't heard of karma yoga. So tell us what that means.
Okay, so uh, it's it's a main part of the yoga, right? Like there are a couple of parts. So first, I would want to tell the definition of yoga. Okay, so
Okay.
in that way, like everyone is aware of where we are. So yoga is the unification of souls. Okay, union of souls, I'll call it that way. So we have descended from the higher power because we have some work to do, right? Like based on the baggage. I call that as a baggage. The baggage is like your likes, dislikes, the way you have treated someone in the previous birth, and then the way you have to treat them nicely in this birth. So all those things. So after you are done with all those clearing of baggage, or we say clearing of karma, so we get back to the higher soul. So this is what is the philosophy. But how do you do? So even for that, so we have been facilitated with multiple paths. Okay, so one is karma yoga, one is bhakti yoga, one is jnana yoga, and one is raja yoga. So there are four different paths. So one is through devotion. So bhakti yoga is that, like through devotion, you just understand that you have to get back. So all the other things are less important to you now. So you understand you have to get back to that. And the other one is jnana yoga, which is understanding who you are. What is your own purpose? What is the purpose of your existence in this life? So once you understand that, you will just detach the materialistic things around you and you give back. And the other one is Raja Yoga, which is through meditation and great mental discipline. So through that. And Karma Yoga is simple, like you do your own work. Okay. Don't attach yourself too much to the result. You give the best in all the actions, and then that result that is supposed to come to you will come to you. You don't need to worry about it. So don't get emotionally attached to the result. So that's the Karma Yoga.
It's a beautiful philosophy. And
Yeah,
it's the detachment.
of course.
When we talked earlier, you talked about that sometimes the way it plays out for you is that you will help somebody with no expectation of anything back from them, which is a beautiful thing. But in business, has that have you ever helped someone in the spirit of karma yoga and they didn't reciprocate?
Um, no, in fact, it worked the other way. So it truly worked for me every time. Okay, so I can give you a very recent example. So
Mhm.
someone, yeah, approached me for a project, and that project was for coding, right? Like some scripting, which I have done that in early in my career. Okay, so I'm a person like if I'm comfortable with that work, I'm the SME or the subject matter expert, I would do it, and I don't really worry about the charge because I will be flexible with my clients, right? So because we that trust is created, right? We act upon trust. I know that they will pay for the work that I do. So so recently I worked for the project, and I said, like, you don't need to allocate budget for me. I just take this as an exploratory work, and then let's see everything later. And I gave my findings to the team. Okay, so they were happy with the findings, and then they went. And after a couple of days, I got an email the from the team manager, and then the CEO, and then he approached me that if I could work for them, continuing my business as well. So this is the pure essence of karma yoga by itself, right? Like I feel this is the place where this is going to take me. Okay, so I'm blessed at this point of time where I can continue my business, but I can also do the full time there, like a contract, and eventually I'll be put up in a full time project. So this is a time where I can even experiment hiring a team for Upacharah, and then learning things, contributing to the team's growth, and as well as my business as well.
That,
So it has never worked the other way for me. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's a great example. And I
Thank
want to
you.
talk more about that, but well, actually, let's go there. So what you're about to do is something that people who are listening may be navigating where they're working full time while building their own consulting practice. And you have your own consulting practice, and now you're going to go to full time, plus keep your own consulting practice going. What are the what made you decide to go full time with this client?
Okay, so for me, Riedel, like work is work, customer is customer. So this is my philosophy. So I'm not giving up my business, right? So I had that flexibility, and I'm also able to take part in a team's operation where I can learn the nuances of the business, and how everything works in a company. So I can learn that. I can also apply in my own business. So for me, I'm not thinking that I'm going to transition to a full time. Okay, so it's a mindset that I can still do my work, but being here, working for them, learning things, and then implementing it elsewhere. So yeah, so I don't take this as a risk or moving away from my business. I think it's going to be more supportive for my business.
And may give you it also may give you some income or revenue to be able to do, because you talked about that several people have asked that you wanted to develop a team, and people have asked to join your team, but you couldn't hire them because the revenue wasn't there. Is that part of the thinking? Is that with the full time plus your consulting practice, there are things you can do with your consulting practice that you weren't able to do before?
Absolutely. So this gives me a cushion in terms of the financial thing, and where I can expand the business. So that is one of my agenda. And the other one is like, I have people from my own family and friends asking for job because I started something on my own, but I was not able to facilitate by then. But this is a
Hmm.
chance for me to help them in a manner that is more like a win-win for both of us, right? And I can
Hmm.
give you an example of my own aunt and let's say my mom too. Like they are talented, they are skillful in many ways, but they haven't gone to a work setup or something. My aunt used to say that, Hema, like I feel I have talent, but I don't have the stage to showcase all those talents. So I feel this is the right time for me to just implement few things where I can empower those ladies who have raised us. Like this is the best gift that I can give to my friends and family. So I feel, yeah, this is the moment.
Is that part of the what drives you to build your consulting practice, is to be able to give these talented people that are in your world, that are relatives and friends, to give them a place to
Of
work?
course, of course. I can give you an example because I'm just about to complete my first book on customer experience, and I have done that for the English version is done. Okay, but so my cousin, she approached me and asked, like, why don't you do it in Tamil, which is my native language? So, which my aunt, she is good in. She has a great command over Tamil, like writing. She writes poem and some write-ups about something like women, like all those things she writes. So she gave an idea, like you should do it in Tamil. So immediately I thought, okay, if I'm doing the Tamil version, I'm going to approach my aunt to do that, and I will pay a little, like whichever is possible, like to just uh, pay back for the work that she has done. Yeah.
Mhm. Tell me about the book. What made you decide to write a book?
Okay. Again, that was totally unplanned, Riedel. So uh, in January 2026, like I got a chance to go back to India for a month or so, like to have some break, to rest, and to be with my parents. And this time, I didn't take my kids and my husband. I was on my own, and
Mhm.
so all uh, those days, like 1 month of uh, the time, was completely with my parents, and there was no rush. It was quiet moments where it took me back to my college days. Like to the days where before getting married, like it was very pleasant. There is no routine kind of a thing.
No
So
responsibility.
yeah, I can say like that. And I understood in a couple of moments that repeated by itself, the way my father arranged the setup. It could be a coffee time. It could be the time when I cleaned my house. He has a checklist, and he he precisely put the other person in his own uh, position to see like what is to be done the next step for the next step. So he has helped me in a way that I could totally relate that to the customer experience. Okay, so if someone was doing the customer support with his lens, maybe that would result in a great customer experience. So I just started to take some notes of the situations. It just like it came like one or two situations, and then it came to like eight situations where I just learned this experience is happening. Like I wanted to convert this as a book. Uh, yeah, so that's how the book was born.
And what are you going to um are you going to publish this in like Amazon? How are you going to use this book in your business?
So now I'm just planning to do the self-publishing version in Amazon KDP. Yeah, so it'll have the paperback and the Kindle version as well. So yeah.
And then will you use that? Because a lot of people I talk to who have written books will often use it as a form of lead generation, where, a potential client or somebody that meets your ideal client profile, that it's something that you give them or you sell at a low price, and it gives them a chance to really see you and what you do in the book. So they're kind of, they're already sort of pre-sold after they've read the book. Is that one of the ways that you plan to use it?
Yeah, of course. It's I would say like that is not my main motive. So I told you like there was a time while doing my business, like there was no active leads, so I just chose to write. Okay, write my thoughts about customer experience and employee experience. And in fact, I'm just working on one more book. Uh, so that was the first one I started, but then I just put that to the shelf. So what I'm trying to tell is like every business leader has has some concepts to be explained in their own style, right? Like we just use LinkedIn and other social media channels to showcase all those things, but I think it's going to be volatile. So it's just going to go unless you just save the post, and you don't have the continuity of those ideas transcending to some business insights. So
Hmm.
keeping that in my mind, so I just started to write. Okay, so I just started somewhere in let's say August 2000, yeah, last year, August. So I was just working on that book, but now it's just put for like hold. Uh, what I'm trying to tell is like we can use book as a source of conveying our thoughts, of educating others or sharing our insights to others, which will be helpful to them in some way or the other. Yeah, so that was my motive. And in a way, yes, like if people could relate to the concepts in the book, so you will get lead. But my major motive is to just spread the concepts to others in your own language.
Okay. Yeah. And you've got a unique perspective with, the observations of your father and pulling in those stories.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you were just meeting somebody, a small business owner, and they said, "What do you do?" How would you describe what you do?
Okay. So if I'm meeting a small business owner, I would just ask them, like, how's your business? Okay, so how are you, performing the everyday task with respect to your business? So if I see that they are doing some manual operations, I say, like, I will tell to them that you can go digital to have a lot of benefits. Okay, for example, you have contacts to whom, like, you just give your service, right? Like, you provide service to those contacts, so you have it in your phone. So implementing that in a digital tool like a CRM is going to give more benefits because it is very efficient and accurate, and you have wide range of activities that can be performed. Like, you can do campaigns, you can schedule campaigns, you can have a better view of your leads. The analytics of the data is better in a tool. So I will tell them that I will transform your business step by step to a digital world where you don't miss out things. You don't have the fear of missing things, like we call FOMO. You don't have the fear, because I feel this is the AI world, right? Like,
Mhm.
if we haven't uh, gone to a point where we use the digital tools for our business, so we're not going to, use the benefits of the AI technologies. So I think this is the right moment for any small business or micro to small business to take that step to move to the digital world.
And one of your offerings is Go Digital. And
Yeah.
that is the one that brings in the most revenue.
Yes. Yes. For now. Yes.
Okay. For now, which one do you want to be the big revenue? Where do you want to be working?
Okay. So I'm an EX and CX enthusiast. Okay, so I learn about customer experience and employee experience because when I was on very long break, I was still in touch with all those concepts like customer support and the human resource are my core domains. So I learn about things. I learn about the evolution of those domains, and so if if you ask me, like, I will research more, and I can provide a service to any business where they can just enhance their employee and customer experience. I'll give customized frameworks for them, so they can just use those and they can fill the gaps, because handling the customer or the employee experience is a very small thing, like, it's a very invisible layer, but if you do it precisely, so you're going to have a better experience together as a business.
Right. Well, you'll have loyal customers, loyal employees, which will be revenue.
Yeah, so I see, like, employee and customers are two core entities. Like, let's say we have three entities, like business, employee, and customer. So I have started my business, like, I have only the business entity and the customer. Okay, so the more and more I get, uh, like, if I get more customers, then I will have an opportunity to expand the team, so in a way the employee entity will be active, right?
Hmm.
And the more I take care of my employees so well, I get more customers. So it's like a beautiful process, or a beautiful layer, invisible layer, or a magical thread, you can call. So that keeps everything in control or in tandem.
Yeah, I want to look kind of to the future a little bit. So you've talked about scaling with the team and you've talked about creating this platform for the women in your life.
Right.
What's the one business problem that if you solved it would change everything for your consulting practice?
Um, okay. So I would say going digital itself is a great transformation, right? Like, if I do that to every micro to small business that I meet, if I tell them that there is a great opportunity for you to get the benefits out of the digital tools, that is going to keep me engaged, and then I can just expand the team based on that. So I feel we have to communicate, to the micro to small business. We have the responsibility to make them understand that this is the time for you to move to the digital setup. Yeah.
Do you find that once they've hired you to do so it sounds like the the entry point for a new client is often the go digital piece, that you're getting them into the digital world with the CRM, with the website, with you know email
Yeah, but
campaigns, that kind of thing. Do you find historically, have you found that those clients then you can move those clients into some of the other services that you offer?
yes, yeah, definitely. So I see it's a very slow process again, okay? Because as I told you earlier in our conversation, they are so busy. Okay, they have a very small team of professionals working for them, and they don't get more time to deal with any selection of products or implementation. Okay, so in their journey map, like each and every tool has a place, but not everything together. So if you just put everything together as a proposal and then show it to them, they'll get overwhelmed. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where some consulting company like Upacharah can just pitch in and be there, travel along with them to make them understand that, okay, here's the first step. So let's do, you have a business card. Let's put a barcode and then let's link it up to your website. So if you don't have a website, let's create one. And then you have visitors, and let's take all the visitors and put it in a tool, like a CRM tool. Okay, so from there you can have some campaigns, some emails sent, and then you can have some invoicing tools. So I think this is a good package to start with, right? And then based on more help tickets, so you can just activate the help desk module. Uh, yeah, so slowly we can just expand to the other set of tools.
That makes sense. Um, Now, as we near the end of our time, I have a couple questions. I call them the rapid fire closing questions. So,
Okay.
what's one book, podcast, or resource that has been invaluable to your consulting practice?
uh, I would, I mean, it's not just one, because I watch multiple podcasts, multiple books. So I think I would say, like, any YouTube podcast that I just come across, I just spend some time to learn from that. Each and every podcast has a unique experience. Like the moment you reached me on LinkedIn, Riedel, so I just went and saw the videos, right? Like you put great effort in bringing the consultant to the show, and to bring out their expertise or their insights, and you share it to the other people. So that's a great thing, and I have just bookmarked a couple of your videos too to watch it out for the future. So I think I don't restrict it to only one show or one book. Like I just take it like it's a global source where I get some points here and there, make a note, and then try to implement it. Yeah, so if you ask me, it's just not one but multiple
Okay,
source.
okay.
Yeah.
And the final, most important question: how can listeners connect with you if they want to learn more about you and your work?
Okay. So I'm quite open. So I'm on LinkedIn. I can share my website. It's upacharah.com, but I can just leave a message if in case, like, if you want to just uh, put it in your description or something.
Mhm.
And they can also reach to my number, which again there in my website as well. So
Okay.
to my email ID, everything works. Like I'm a person who connects easily. Like I don't filter messages or connections. So I wanted to take that step to understand about others, right? So yeah, please feel free to reach me.
Okay. And for those of you listening or watching, the links to Hema's uh, LinkedIn and website will be in the show notes. So you can check there for the links of those. Well, it has been wonderful talking to you today. Thank you for, I learned some new things uh, through through you today with Upacharah and with Karma Yoga. What I especially love is one of the things that I work with consultants on is how they differentiate themselves from other people. And what I really like that you have done is that you are integrating your spiritual beliefs, your philosophies into who you are as a business owner. So, it which is a great way to find the people that can relate to you and that appreciate that. And if somebody, it also will repel the people that aren't meant to work with you. But I love the way you've taken who you are and what you believe and your philosophies and integrated that into your business as a way to differentiate from the other consultants who are out there doing very similar things to what you do. So that is,
Thank you so much, Riedel. It means a lot because, as you said, like I wanted to integrate the spiritual, the personal, the professional all together, right? Like, in fact, that is the whole concept of my the other book I'm working on. So I feel if you are like that, if you are the same person throughout your like personal and the professional, you don't need much effort. So if you treat the your friends and families the same way, okay, so you don't need extra effort to take care of your customer or your employees. So it's like the behavior or the habit that is within you. So if you make that very easy, like all those things where you need to implement for your business, it's going to be easy. So you don't need extra time or effort for it. So
right.
thank you for your kind words.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And for those of you listening or watching, until next time, keep thriving through. And that's a wrap on a great conversation. Hema, thank you. I love that you built a practice that is genuinely, authentically you, from the name to the philosophy to the way you show up for every single client. Here's what I want you, the listener, to take away from today. Hema's greatest differentiator isn't a slick marketing funnel or an advertising budget. It's who she is, how she has integrated her spirituality and her background, and how she treats people. She's integrated all of those things into who she is and how she comes across. That's something every consultant, any consultant can build, and it doesn't cost anything except intention. Now, here's the question this episode leaves you with. Hema is honest that her lead generation system is inconsistent. Referrals and networking are great, but they're not a system. Do you have a system? Hema is not alone. Most consultants don't have an effective, comprehensive client attraction system. What do I mean by that? A client attraction system is a system, it's effective if it's consistently and predictably bringing clients to you month in, month out, and isn't dependent on passive forms of lead generation like networking and referrals. Find out how good your client attraction system is. Book a free client attraction system assessment with me today. On the call, you'll get clarity about whether you have an actual system for attracting clients and which part of your process needs attention. And then finally, we'll talk about the one shift that you can do right away that will shift you from reacting to the market to leading it. This assessment is right for you if you're making less than $100,000 a year, but you should be at 150K or more. And you want to stop guessing about why you aren't getting new clients consistently. Now, this isn't a sales call. You'll get a straight diagnosis of where your client attraction system stands and what needs to happen next. Book your free assessment today. The link is in the show notes. And until next time, keep thriving through.